meant to guide us on an exploratory journey, an exercise in communal thinking, if you will, where our group intention will be to consider age-old questions as new ideas. You see, this line of inquiry I've been pondering is the existential question: what makes superheroes so relatable to us mere humans? Now, I understand you may be asking, what does this have to do with our reality? Well, as it happens, each superhero has an origin story. And it's not the day they received their powers, but the day they started thinking differently. This is the point of origin that shifts them to a new beginning, in which everything that happened before doesn't seem like a cycle of failing. It simply becomes a part of their unique expertise, fueled by skills cultivated in adversity. They become extraordinary, and it brings them not just great powers and abilities, but an individual sense of destiny, an awareness that they are meant to achieve great things. And in this way, they are just like you and me, for we all have a point of origin. But do you believe? Can I tell you a story? Even as a child, I knew my parents didn't have the capacity to adequately care for me, not because they did not love me. They simply had become too embedded in the matrix of adversity. Cycles of pain and trauma had become too embodied. They did not hide who they were from my young eyes. In fact, their example prepared me for the reality that we each have a responsibility to craft with our own hands a higher vision for our lives. Despite challenges, my parents did not leave me empty-handed. They put their hope in me, that what happened to them did not have to happen to me. They gave me the most valuable thing, a name and a story, an epiphany, a destiny was handed to me in the form of my name and tribal distinction. Your name is Vanessa, a butterfly, the manifestation of transformation. My father told me, you are of the Narragansett tribe, a people of the mountain peak and caretakers of community. He made me repeat the words, Narragansett, a warrior people who offer protection to those with less resources, not because we were better, but because we're all brothers and kinfolk, and it was our responsibility to practice the ancient art of mutuality. He taught me to take pride and have dignity in who I am. He spoke these things into my life that made a lasting impression. And looking back, I'm grateful that they taught me to never give up my creative capacity to navigate systems of oppression and adversity. But when I entered foster care, who I was became a contradiction, characterized by buzzwords and system speak about what it means for me to be me and for you to be you, a story too complicated for a system rooted in labels and diagnoses, and so very slowly, I assimilated to being no one, a girl without a history. And I began to adopt the ways of my condition as a pre-existing determinant of who I am in the world and who I am within. And it's a heavy burden to carry when conditions of adversity become your identity. A trauma-informed state of mind, way of thinking, that made me overly conscientious of my supposed inadequacy, so that even while being surrounded by well-meaning individuals, I still needed someone, a hero, to come and rescue me. I could not see myself in others. I did not feel rooted in my experience. When people saw me, they seemed to see it. They seemed to say, this is label. That is what she is. I didn't seem to be able to escape it. Without a connection to my unique story, they became a source of my identity. Surprisingly, it's fairly easy for those with extraordinary abilities to become limited by their surroundings if they have no true sense of identity, individuality, and personal value, attaching to in-groups and out-groups that produce the illusion of invulnerability. The antithesis of community becomes manifest. Because in reality, even the greatest superheroes want to belong to a group, to be a part of a superhero family. Is that you? So, what's the prognosis? Well, without adequate nourishment, powers can become vices. Let that sink in. Then we become ensnared in a fixed system of personal confinement by the very inner resources meant to free us from our circumstances. But we are resilient, and we can rise to the challenge of a new point of origin. My superpower birthed in my adolescence, renewed an understanding of the value of what it means to be Vanessa. A butterfly, imbued with creativity, craftily maneuvering any sequence of events, moving through it, around it, over it, on top of it, of the Narragansett tribe. My sequeliquy, one of making it, because of my value within my community, a space of mutuality. So, you see, there's a lot we can learn from the psychology of a superhero. Superheroistically speaking, I am asking you with all the courage within me, do not allow society, circumstances, or material status to define your inherent worth and value. The force within you is priceless. No matter what situation we may find ourselves in, our past is not a fixed story narrative. The world is a multiverse expanding beyond space and time. Seeing possibility is a state of mind. And even if we fall, we can rise again, and even better. Put me in the game, coach. Don't box me in. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Pick yourself up and try again. From the ashes of the phoenix, we can rise again, because you're resilient. And every little step I take, I'll learn from experience to live again and again and again from a higher perspective and a new point of origin. Thank you.